Hey guys, Stock Saturday, and it's a green week, surprisingly, even though you see the wall of red today. It's been a bit of a rough day. The non-farm payrolls in the US came out, and that's always a spicy number. So you look at sort of the markets at 1:30 today, you'll see a large drop because the numbers were actually good and unemployment came down as well. So I think that means more interest rate hikes, trying to get inflation down, basically. So the sort of counterintuitive good news means the markets fall, but yeah, a little bit strange. So I'm actually up 5,000 though this week, so about 2.7%. But I did withdraw £8,000 in cash, ready hopefully for the car. So yeah, should be good. I have updated my little pie chart on the right hand side here. This was actually before just showing the number of sort of stocks in each category, but now this is portfolio weighted, so you can see sort of obviously cash lowered now, quite heavy on mining, quite heavy on house builders and that sort of thing. Semiconductors, nearly 20%. A little bit of energy, technology, which I sort of maybe group some things that others wouldn't consider technology in there, but I do. A bit of industrials and my emerging markets ETF. So yeah, fairly well diverse. As for moves this week, I did finally drop out of Nintendo. Said that I was last week. It seems to have been a fairly large mistake buying the Frankfurt German listing. It was very illiquid and lost about 10% on the buy and sell spread alone. So always check the volume on the stock or ETF that you're looking at. Should have gone with the US one on that one, but you live and learn. So got out of Nintendo. Sort of mentioned before, I very happy with the company, sort of how it's run and everything, but kind of thought it was a little bit overvalued for where it is. Sort of earnings peaked in 2020 pretty much, and have been sort of dropping ever since, and are projected to drop next year as well. They've sort of been held up a little bit because of the weak currency, the weak yen. So that's not a reason to be sort of bullish on profits being held up. But yeah, I decided to get rid of that and put it all into Process. So Process is my sort of third largest holding, second largest stock now in this portfolio. So pretty happy with them, albeit sort of dropping a fair bit today with 10 cents drop as well. And yeah, they've actually pulled out of a deal to buy, I think it was Bill Desk. So this was sort of done middle of last year when sort of valuations were a lot more bullish, and they sort of set parameters that needed to be met by this year, and those have not been met. So I think probably fortunately they were able to back out of that deal, and they've now got the cash to sort of deploy elsewhere. So the stock didn't actually drop all that much on the day, as you sort of expect maybe with a deal like this collapsing. Probably would in a bull market, but yeah, I think people are sort of seeing that as, if they had to go through it, then go through with it, then fair enough. But if not, can probably use that money a lot better today. So that was good. You see the only sort of real active green today is Shell. Sort of oil going back up, potentially on OPEC cutting their oil production. So Shell's doing pretty well. It's not something that I sort of really want to be adding, even though it's very good on sort of even forward PE basis. But yeah, still sort of not really wanting to sell. Sort of deploy that elsewhere. Just see them as a reasonable sort of future green energy play and current sort of getting money off the oil and gas, to be honest. I have added a couple of columns here, sort of PE ratio and market cap in sort of in billions. So I need to slightly change some of these, but sort of put it into currencies in billions. So thought that was okay. And yeah, the PE ratios, can't get it for all of them because it doesn't come up, but just a handy sort of glance. I do prefer forward PE wherever possible, because trailing, as it states, is the past, and we don't want to be looking at the past too much. Can lead to sort of value traps or sort of missing out on a growth stock on the flip side. So yeah, not a sort of huge amount of news on the other stocks. Broadly, sort of everything, pretty much everything in this portfolio is either sort of flat to up sort of 3 or 4%. A couple of sort of outliers. I think Samsung is up about 8%, and sort of some of the miners, Vale doing quite well, sort of up to 14. That should be in dollars. $14, up from sort of 12 or 13 recently, so that's pretty good. Just change that to dollars as well, and yeah, pretty happy with them. So looking at the ISA, we've had a green Sylvania Platinum day and week. They've been doing quite well. Argo blockchain down very, very heavily, 20%, as you can see today. They've announced a not a rights issue, because the public don't get to buy, but a share issue. It's going to be, I don't know whether it's one investor or a group of investors are going to be sort of taking up that share issue. And yeah, so we're getting dilution. I sort of mentioned a while ago there was probably going to be dilution coming, and it's finally come. So whether that is it, we don't know, but that will dilute, and obviously your stake in the company now goes down. I think they're saying that they're going to end up, this new investor is going to end up with 15% of the company after the new shares are issued. So fairly significant dilution, and they're also selling some of their cards and sort of going to be hosting them to the people that they're selling them to. So they'll get some hosting revenue, I guess, but the sort of future income potential is now dropped. They're saying, I think, 2.9 exahash by the end of the year. So that's not all that much, with difficulty going back up again, and sort of Bitcoin being at a low. So yeah, it's not going all that well. I have got about £100 in dividends sort of accumulated, so I might just put that in there next week, just as a sort of very minor average down. It's not going to make a lot of difference. £1.28 average cost. So you just take this as a great big loss. Fair enough. Looking at my pie on this side, you can see it is sort of quite heavy REITs now, 59%, and sort of 21% in crypto. That's going down as Argo and the Bitcoin ETF go down. Pretty rough week again for the US REITs in particular. The Tritaxes sort of haven't moved quite as much, but yeah, certainly sort of American Tower and Digital Realty Trust not having the best week. Vici Properties not following them. That's still doing sort of reasonably well, 1% down on the day, but I think they were up on the week. Still trying to get a weekly percent change and amount change in the spreadsheet. Not been able to do that. If you got any tips on that, do let us know. I think you have to sort of probably import the data from somewhere else. The Google Sheets only gives you the daily result, or you can do weekly or whatever sort of result you want for ETFs and mutual funds, I think. Yeah, not ETFs, I think just mutual funds. So that's not very helpful, but if there is a way to do it, let us know. And then the couple of smaller portfolios, so I've got Argo in this one as well. That's obviously dropped. Hive Blockchain not doing particularly well either. Pan American Silver, sort of bit choppy at the moment. I've had silver sort of making a reasonable move, still above $20. So yeah, that's not too bad. And Atalaya Mining sort of back above. That was sort of getting down towards £2, I think, with the very low copper price. So yeah, that's not doing too bad. But obviously this has taken a fair hit with Argo Blockchain. And yeah, the Chinese tech has sort of barely moved overall. I do need to sort of adjust some of these figures. Again, the sort of pie chart is not really working because it's 100% technology, so it doesn't sort of show 100% pies all that well. It doesn't say anything. And the IG one is sort of basically half mining, half crypto. So yeah, that's the portfolio for the week. Let us know if you've got any suggestions for the spreadsheet. Certainly, I'm not sort of all that up on Google Sheets, so still sort of learning and trying to sort of add more. Maybe add a chart on the bottom right hand corner if there was anything sort of useful to go in there. Not sure what that would be, but yeah. So let us know how your portfolio's doing. Certainly today is probably taking a hit unless you're in short ETFs or something. But yeah, like and subscribe. See you soon.